right, fantastic, and welcome everybody to the Virtual Business Owners Network, or the VBON as most people know it, on the 31st of March 2023. Our guest presentation today, our guest is a presentation and instructional designer with Interactivemedia.ie, who's been designing impactful presentations to help his clients win business, gain investment, and wow audiences. He holds an MA in eLearning Design and Development from MTU. The title of today's presentation is Top Tips When Designing an Engaging Presentation. And this is where he hopes he will give you some valuable tips on designing a presentation to engage your audience. Please welcome Cormac Cullen. Thank you.
Lovely stuff. Thanks for that wonderful introduction, Alec. Yes, so guys, I'm an instructional designer and presentation designer. I've been designing pitches for about the last 3 or 4 years, be it sales pitches worth tens or hundreds of thousands of euros. I've done investment pitches, and they can go up into the millions. As well as that, I've done some funding pitches as well. And my most recent success was with a department within Trinity College. We were working on a pitch there that was worth 5 million in funding. So this particular little presentation is geared towards these type of networking groups such as VBON, and hopefully there's some little nugget of info there that you guys can use going forward. So yeah, I want to talk to you about storytelling. Guys, we've been using stories since the dawn of time to explain the world around us. Our own Celtic history, it was maintained for 2,000 years through poetry and song and some incredible stories. If we think about the Celtic society, our Celtic storytelling tradition with Fionn McCool and the Red Branch Knights, they really are fantastic stories. I live here in Lucan, and I believe the Salmon of Knowledge story was actually based down there in Leixlip. So in Celtic society, the bard storyteller was second in esteem only to the king himself. A bard, they evolved into Shanakees, and we would have had Peg Sayers, Eamon Burke. So guys, you could say that we have a little bit of a competitive advantage here in Ireland, or as Irish, when it comes to storytelling. I don't know how true that is for myself, but anyway. Yeah, so messages delivered as stories are 22 times more successful as opposed to facts, okay? So facts tell, stories sell. And there is a science behind this. So storytelling, it actually stimulates this limbic part of the brain, or the limbic system. So this is the part that's involved with motivation and emotional behaviors. And as you guys know, that we buy via our emotions. It's later on when we can use a different part of the brain and we could rationalize that buying. Cool. So the first tip there, guys, tell a story. Just going to throw a little bit of a sideball here to you. American Psycho. Look, I'm sure most of you have seen this movie, guys. I don't know if you remember, there's one particular part in it. It's the business part scene. So just setting the scene here, the main protagonist, it's a Patrick Bateman. He's a young investment banker from Wall Street. He's 27, he's slick, he wears Valentino suits, perfect haircut, dines out in the most fancy restaurants around New York. He's just after getting his freshly printed business cards, and he's there at a meeting with his colleagues, and he whips out his new business card to show it off. But he's absolutely sickened when he realizes he's been trumped by nearly everybody else. The other guys have, equally amazing, even better business cards. So corporate executives are a little bit like this when it comes to presentations. They want to have slick presentations. They want to look really good. And I know this because I used to design presentations. It was just as a side hustle. I was working with a corporate exec, and we were working on his presentation. It just so happened then to the company, the company he worked for, needed someone to design their presentations full time. So he got me in there to do that. It just turned out then this particular company was expanding into the States and around Europe and New Zealand and Australia as well. And the other executives wanted similar pitch decks. So I was able to, through this piece of business, I was able to take off and make this kind of my full-time thing. That's all down to these executives loving having slick presentations. So there's the link with American Psycho. And in a roundabout way, guys, what I'm saying is, we can talk about your business journey, and this is our story. What's better than talking about your story is to, talk about your customer story. This can be made up of 3 things. So there's going to be a problem, how you solved the problem, and why you were the right people to do this. Okay. Now it's funny, earlier we were talking about, there seems to be a theme here with houses burning down and fires. So I remember I was at a presentation and there was a solicitor giving it. And I'll be honest with you guys, it was a very dry presentation because it's hard to make all of these legal terms and all this jargon sound exciting. But he did tell one really good story, and it was about an elderly lady in her house. It was a fire in the house. A lot of the possessions were burned, a lot of memories from her kids. She was really upset. The title deeds were destroyed in the house as well. So this solicitor firm went above and beyond, and he made a lot of phone calls over and back to the UK as well, and he got the title deeds back. So he saved the day. So the problem was, the fire. He solved that problem, but he went above and beyond with this extra legwork he did to get the title deeds back for this elderly lady, and she was happy with that. Tip 3 then is, we can back this up. We can back it up with facts, figures, or testimonials as to how you made a difference to your customer. So what we're doing here is you're letting other people tell your story. Manus there will know Martina, Seamus, Amit, Paul, Martina as well. So Martina just took one of my courses. She gave a fantastic presentation that she designed using the course. She got new business from that. She probably would have got the business anyway, but her presentation looked absolutely fantastic. And she could use that presentation time and time again to get new business. That's a result. Tip 4, guys, is when it comes to referrals, especially in these networking groups, is just be as specific as you can. And I've got a little analogy here. It's the boat analogy. So we can take the first boat, take the slow boat to China here. So it's the anybody who. So if it was me and I was saying to you guys, I want to speak with anybody who needs a presentation, it's not going to really resonate with you. You're going to just forget about it. Second boat, a little bit faster. It's going to get you there quicker. Be more specific. I'd like to speak with marketing managers. Okay, so you might remember later on, okay, Cormac wants to speak with some marketing managers. Just so happens I know a marketing manager. The third boat, and the best by far, now you can travel in a bit of luxury. This is our luxury cruiser. I want to speak with Jenny King. Jenny is the marketing manager at Unilever. This is exactly who I need to speak to. So guys, actually, if you know Jenny King, you can let me know. But my point here is I'm being absolutely specific. My fifth and my final point is your call to action slide. So I believe that we should make every slide count. You can use your last slide as, it has to be a compelling reason for your audience to reach out to you or to refer you on to somebody else. So this may be a free trial, a free consultation, it may be a gift voucher or some money off, anything that's going to give your audience a compelling reason to reach out to you. So yeah, just with that in mind, guys, in the spirit of helping each other out, this is actually the course that Martina took. It was how to design a winning presentation deck. This is free for anybody here in the VBON. You can just reach out to me. I've got a discount code for 100% off that. You can take it, or if there's somebody in your organization who needs it, you can pass that on to them as well. Absolutely no problems. I'd love to be able to help you out. Yeah, so look, that is it. That's my last slide here. I'd actually like to know if you guys have any observations yourself. Maybe you could tell me what's worked for you guys. I think that might be quite valuable if you could share tips on that. Thanks a million.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Cormac, and thank you also for the kind offer for people here. I mean, that's a valuable piece to use up. I can also give you some feedback from a professional speaking side of it, again, separately. There's one or two things I think will help you, but you did a great job. I think the presentation was fantastic, so thank you very much. Thank you for my video. Has anybody any questions for Cormac there?
I do.
Yes, Brian. Yeah.
Cormac, great presentation. Very well done. Thank you. I'm very interested in the offer at the end there. How long does it take, the course?
You'd have it done in about 2 hours, I'd say, Brian.
Okay.
Quite short.
Is it online via Zoom, or is it?
Yeah, no, it's an online course, so it's just a follow-along course there.
Okay.
All you need is a copy of PowerPoint, and I tell you what to do. Basically builds up about more or less the 8 or 9 slides that you're going to need to use in a presentation, and you can just follow along with it. So it's quite basic as well, but it'll give you a nice presentation.
Okay, so it's an e-learning module that you just follow.
Yeah.
Okay, and I can pause it if I need to go do
you
something.
You can pause it and go away, and come back. You'll even get a little certificate at the end, Brian, that you've completed it.
That's great.
Good.
Thank you.
Amit, you have one.
Thanks, Alec. Great presentation, Cormac. Thanks. Yeah, look, I got my presentation deck done professionally by somebody when I was doing the brand, and it makes a huge difference to have that look. Like I know in my slides, for example, there's 3 basic colors that we've used, but there's a guy doing a parachute jump, so you kind of take them on a journey. And I've seen some of your other work as well, so I'll definitely be doing that course as well, because while somebody built mine, I'd like to do it myself as well for the next iteration.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I've seen your deck, Amit, and that's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, it is important to have a professional looking deck. We all have professional looking websites, and I think that we should have a professional looking deck as well.
Yeah,
I'll back that up.
Paul,
Knowing Cormac, yeah, and I've known him for quite a while. He does a great job, and I'll definitely be making use of that, Cormac. Thanks a million.
Good stuff.
The thing I've noticed, and having looked at them for years, you know, people doing their 10-minute, like what I think hits, sorry, not what hits well, what engages, right, is the story, the origin story, and how, because we all know a lot about each other's businesses, but you know, and this is something that goes back to social media as well. You know, it's not just about talking about you and your expertise. It's also about this special rapport building you out as a person. And I think you get that 10 minutes, and particularly in the first 2 or 3, it's a very valuable time to fill out more about you and your character and your drives and all that and where it came from. And I think, you know, if you go straight into the business, you're missing a trick.
Yeah, absolutely. Something I'd love to be better at as well. I'd say maybe Brian Barry might be able to help me out on that one. So, but yeah, definitely agree with you.
Cormac.
And Alec Drew also, I believe.
Hi, Cormac. That was sorry, Cormac. Yeah, that was a good presentation. Thanks very much. I do presentations every day of the week, practically, for clients, and so I'm a graphic designer by profession. I'm a creative director with a company. Excellent. But I will be taking your course, and that's on the basis that despite my 30 years of doing this, I think everyone needs to refresh themselves. So I actually look forward to doing it, because we spend so much of our time actually in presentation mode. One of the issues we have is some of them are collaborative. So we work in Google Slides, Google Docs, things like that. And the collaboration side tends to sometimes break the design element of it down too much, or the content. But anyway, I look forward to doing it, and I'll tell you how it works.
Yeah, no, that'll be great, Nicholas, because I know sometimes graphic designers almost think that PowerPoint is below them because you've got all your other suite of tools with the Adobe suite and all of that. So yeah, it would be good. Well, good feedback.
On that, yeah, I hate PowerPoint, by the way. I think it's an appalling piece of software. So the way we tend to do it is we run it in InDesign, export it to Adobe Acrobat, and then it comes smoothly into PowerPoint. So it means you can use really complex graphic statements in a very clean way. No Microsoft platform is a suitable design platform in kind of professional designer's opinion. Anyway, Alec will tell you.
I think we're all looking for, thanks. I think, Nick, we're all looking for a competitive advantage, and this is just another one. If it's done professionally,
Absolutely,
the problem is that too many people are trying to do it themselves, and the net result is opportunities missed. If there's no further questions, I'll close off this session, and just to say, sorry, were you asking, Amit, there? Or
yeah, just a comment, actually. I've seen a tool called Prezi, P-R-E-Z-Y, which is a parallel to PowerPoint, which makes animations and a lot of stuff much easier, but is a bit more pricey.
Yeah, but again, it's in the hands of an expert who'll show you how to use it properly, as opposed to people doing it. Yeah. Can I just say, Cormac, thank you so much for that presentation. I presume we're okay to put it up on our platform.
Yep, absolutely.
Great. And thank you very much for the offer. I'm not sure if there's a link you want to put in the chat box for that or how we get to it. But again, thank you very much. And can we just say thank you to Cormac for